Alapa friends, my name is Nica. Welcome to our backyard. I've been studying all day on Zoom calls, study circles, but I figured I would take a minute to share this quotation with everybody. It's about Baha'u'lláh entering the Riḍván garden declaring his message. And while I sing, enjoy the sounds of our neighborhood, children playing, birds chirping. Yeah.
Alawapa. My name is Ritchie, and I want to wish everyone a happy Riḍván. Please allow me to share one quote. He is the most holy, the most glorious. Praise be to thee, O my God, that the dawn of thy Riḍván festival hath broken, and that therein one who had sought thy presence hath attained his goal, O thou our Lord, the most merciful. How numerous are thy loved ones, O my God, who traverse the sands of Syria in their longing to gaze on thy beauty, but who were prevented from attaining the court of thy transcendent oneness by reason of the misdeeds of thy foes, who have disbelieved in thee and gainsaid thy sovereignty. O Lord, look upon the oppressors of thy people with the eye of thine avenging wrath. By thy might, their iniquity hath reached such heights as none can reckon to save thyself, who knowest all things. Thy loved ones acquiesced to captivity and confinement in this prison, and yet their enemies were still not satisfied. So intense was their hatred for the manifestation of thy cause. Blessed be the man of insight who seeth in all that hath befallen him in thy path naught save that which shall exalt his station and magnify thy cause, O thou Lord of the worlds. By thy glory, were all the peoples of the earth that join together to harm a single one of the people of Baha, they would find themselves powerless. For all that they see as harming thy chosen ones is as light unto them, and as fire unto thine enemies. Were it not for the confinement, in the most great prison, of him who is the exponent of thy transcendent sovereignty, how would thy cause have been promulgated, thy sovereignty manifested, thy might proclaimed, and the truth of thy signs established? Would that I myself had borne all the tribulations of the world out of love for thee and for thy creatures. O Lord, Open thou the eyes of thy servants, that they may behold thee at all times seated upon the throne of thy grandeur, and supreme over all who are in heaven and on earth. Potent art thou, to do what thou willest. No God is there but thee, the Almighty, the most powerful. Allahu Akbar.
Let's talk about change.
The garden in Baghdad is not a garden anymore. Ownership changed hands, never belonged to the Baha'is. The city government purchased the land in 1870, and by the early 20th century, the land was cleared for new development.
Now it's a series of teaching hospitals. They call it Baghdad Medical City. Not a bad monument to the divine physician.
But change is hard. Change comes unannounced. The destruction of Baha'u'llah's house in Baghdad in 2013 broke our longing hearts.
Baha'u'llah's most holy book says that in due time we will all one day make that house a place of pilgrimage.
Some things change, but some things rise above. It seems bad now, but there's a promise of a future. It's written in the book. So have hope. It's gonna happen.
This physical world changes all the time, sometimes suddenly in natural calamities, sometimes quietly over centuries and centuries, and Riḍván is like both of these. Renewed the world through God's delivery of divine revelation from the pen of glory. New minds, new hearts, new souls, new dreams, new visions of the world, new notions of possibility. Look at everything that's happened in our world since 1863. Imagine trying to explain your day-to-day to your great-great-granddaddy.
Shoghi Effendi said the golden age will be absolutely stupendous, astonishingly glorious, raised up by God through you and me. So while we're working building justice, while we're working building peace, I find it helpful to remember I plant seeds, my kids will pick the trees.
We are living through hard times, become accustomed to the tragedies. But there are precedents we turn to, guiding lights who we can strive to be.
Abdu'l-Bahá was prepping years before the World War 1914. He was telling all the friends down by Tiberias and Galilee to sow more seeds. We have to sow more seeds. And every harvest in those years got saved. So by the time of the blockade, when there was not enough to go around, the friends of God were ready.
Hundreds, maybe thousands, saved from starvations when they reaped the wheat. And to the poor in those hard days, the Master himself would give them each the pocket change, or bread, or dates, anything to serve humanity. So how about you and me?
I've never seen what I see now. It fills me with a brief relief. Neighbors sewing masks for neighbors, schools online and on TV. We've got brewers making sanitizer. We've got landlords waiving fees. Even governments are stepping in with cash reserves to meet the needs.
What if this doesn't end when we can gather again? What if this becomes the normal we decided we want to live in? Not the distance from the friends and all the ones we love, obviously, but the spirit of these days, all the giving, all the unity.
I really hope that part stays. But I know everything will change. Everything will change. And if that's for sure, then no matter how things seem right now, we're destined to be more than we ever could have dreamed before.
Whether we like it or not, friends, we'll all go through this. But if we give it a shot, friends, we'll all grow through this.
We will grow through this.
We will grow through this.
We
We
will
grow through this.
Hi friends, happy Riḍván. My name is Ron Lapitan, joining you from Fairfax, Virginia, and I'm going to talk about comics. I've heard that dreaming about change is like being on a moving walkway at the airport. Society is carrying you in a certain direction, and even if you don't like the direction, you're still going in it as long as you yourself are standing still. if you want to create change, you have to intentionally turn in the opposite direction and run. The current moment, when about 4 billion people, about half the planet, are under some form of stay-at-home orders, is as if the entire walkway has shut down. It is a shared moment of reflection, when even those who used to stand still, letting themselves be carried in a default direction, are questioning if that direction was a good one. I'm a comic artist, and I've been using the stay-at-home period to draw a story about this moment. This time is rife with imagery that seems right out of a comic. Animals roaming empty streets, with closed signs on every storefront. Healthcare workers and veterans, both dressed for war, marching into crowded ERs. It's like all the ways pop culture has imagined the end of the world as we know it coming true. The Baha'i faith, its teachings, and the world we strive to build from them, you might say, is the main character in all my stories. This is a particularly interesting story in which to follow the development of the Baha'i world. Because if the walkway has stopped, shouldn't that mean those who have been running in a different direction have gotten a boost? Every Baha'i knows, nothing old dies without something new being born. Did you know the concept of hospitals came from Christianity? In the centuries after Christ's ministry, healthcare was reserved only for the elites, soldiers, and those who could afford a doctor for hire. It was Christians who made healthcare public, running towards the sick and disadvantaged when others ran away from them. The healing houses they built to care for the ailing free of charge also included orphanages, social services for the homeless, vocational skills training, and schools to learn about the causes and cures of illnesses, the first institutions with the medical caliber of today's university hospitals. When the neighbors of the Christians complained to the rulers that these church hospitals attracted refugees, immigrants, and the marginalized to their lands, it was the priests who defended their rights to exist, spurred on by Christ's teachings about the oneness of humanity. Islam had a similar impact on culture. When the Prophet Muhammad came to a culture of warring tribes without laws, the tribes became so united by his teachings that they ended the wars and erected the first governments of the Arabian Peninsula. In this age of peace, known as the Islamic Golden Age, the arts and sciences flourished. A vast translation movement led to a revival of ancient Greek, Indian, and Chinese scholarship as books from those regions were imported into the Middle East on the backs of thousands of camels and translated into Arabic in royal libraries. Many Greek classics, including Plato and Aristotle, only survive today because there were Arabic copies in those libraries to translate from. Mathematics also advanced. The word algebra comes from the Arabic word al-jabr, which was used in the Arabic book that developed this field of math, and the word algorithm comes from the name of its author, Al-Khwarizmi. Muslim mathematicians also spread the use of the number 0, which they adapted from Indian scholarship. These scholars also developed the scientific method, which would later be popularized amongst European Renaissance scholars. In a time that coincided with the Dark Age and bubonic plague of Europe, the Islamic Middle East was considered the most advanced civilization in the world. As Middle Eastern scholarship and advancements were brought to Europe through trade, it ignited the Renaissance. Contrary to what your history teacher said, one could easily say the European Renaissance would have been less rich, if not non-existent, without the Muslim Renaissance that preceded it. And Baha'is? We don't even know yet what we're going to create. We only know it's going to be beautiful. And in this moment when everything is being reinvented, from how we work, go to school, and buy groceries, to how we practice religion and connect with those we love, down to how we honor and bury the dead, There is a lot of room to give people something new to imagine. Perhaps we too will contribute a renaissance to the world in the midst of a plague. It's a story I draw without being wise enough to know the ending. Though Baha'is have a blueprint for a good ending at the end of the walkway, Baha'u'lláh gave it to the world in a garden of roses. But we have to write the good ending with actions. The Universal House of Justice for Nowruz 2020. However difficult matters are at present, and however close to the limits of their endurance some sections of societies are brought, humanity will ultimately pass through this ordeal, and it will emerge on the other side with greater insight and with a deeper appreciation of its inherent oneness and interdependence. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed that tour of what I've been working on. Huge shout out to the Riḍván is Everywhere collective for rallying all of us, and have a happy Riḍván.
Happy Riḍván.
Hello, Pop friends. I'm Sidra.
Hello, Pop friends. I'm Barin.
Happy Ridvan. We're gonna sing a song which is for Baha'u'lláh,
And the lyrics is from Mahvash Sabet.
and it's composed by Siam Akhyar.
Thank you.
از تو هزار نمی کنم گرچه ز من هزار کنی جان بره تو می دهم گر تو به من نظر کنی گر تو به من نظر کنی از تو هزار نمی کنم از نفس تو می شوم هم نفس ستاره ها از نفس تو می شوم هم نفس ستاره ها هم نفس ستاره ها هم نفس ستاره ها خیمه به ما می زنم گر بر شبم گذر کنی از تو هزار نمی کنم شهره شهر می شوم از شهر شهر عاشقی شهره شهر می شوم از شهر شهر عاشقی از شهر شهر عاشقی از شهر شهر عاشقی باغ شگوفه می شوم میل بهار اگر کنی از تو هزار نمی کنم تیغ برگ برای تو بهر فدا نشستم تیغ برگ برای تو بهر فدا نشستم بهر فدا نشستم بهر فدا نشستم چشمم نمی زنم به هم تا تو مرا خبر کنی از تو هزار نمی کنم گرچه ز من هزار کنی جان بره تو می دهم گر تو به من نظر کنی گر به شبم گذر کنی میل بهار اگر کنی اوه لا 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 تا تو مرا خبر کنی.
Hi everyone, and happy Ridván to all of you watching. Lately I have been taking some of this time to create and go back to some of the arts and crafts that I enjoy, particularly watercoloring. A lot of it has been inspired by the writings of the Baha'i faith, as a lot of you might relate to. Particularly this little piece that I'll share today is inspired by a book from Abdu'l-Bahá called The Secret of Divine Civilization. Although this book was originally addressed to the rulers and peoples of Persia at the time, it really provides a larger framework for social development that can be applied to any society currently. In a part of this book, Abdu'l-Bahá says that we should continually be establishing new bases for human happiness, and that we have to strive to lay hold of all the instrumentalities that will promote peace and well-being, the knowledge, the culture, the industry, dignity, value, and station of the entire human race. And then he goes on to say the following, that through the restoring waters of pure intention and unselfish effort, the earth of human potentialities will blossom with its own latent excellence and flower into praiseworthy qualities, and bear and flourish until it comes to rival that rose garden of knowledge which belonged to our forefathers. So I think this is a beautiful reminder that we were created and given faculties and senses and reason so that we can become the best nurturers for human civilization, and that hopefully we can blossom individually, as a community, as institutions, until we become a beautiful rose garden. I hope this imagery can be helpful in reminding ourselves of that, and I am wishing you all the best and sending you lots of love.
Happy Ridván, everyone. My name is Bridgette Schnider. I'm a gilder and artist. Together with my dear friend Kay Hubbard, we've put together for you a short visual devotional, and I've also added some spring jewelry because it's spring outside, but pretty much inside. Thank you. I hope you enjoy. Bye.
Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words, that ye may unravel its secrets and discover all the pearls of wisdom that lie hid in its depths. Bahá'u'lláh. This is the springtime of Bahá'u'lláh. The verdure and foliage of spiritual growth are appearing in great abundance in the gardens of human hearts. Know ye the value of these passing days and vanishing nights. Strive to attain a station of absolute love one toward another. By the absence of love, enmity increases. By the exercise of love, love strengthens and enmities dwindle away. How resplendent the luminaries of knowledge that shine in an atom, and how vast the oceans of wisdom that surge within a drop. Bahá'u'lláh. Consider the flowers of a garden. Though differing in kind, color, form, and shape, yet inasmuch as they are refreshed by the waters of one spring, revived by the breath of one wind, invigorated by the rays of one sun, this diversity increaseth their charm and addeth unto their beauty. Abdu'l-Bahá.
Aloha, dear friends. Happy Ridván. My name is Aaron Ferguson, and I'm tuning in from Seattle, Washington. I wanted to offer a song adapting some words from the Seven Valleys from the writings of Baha'u'lláh. They'll be sung in Spanish, but in English the lyrics are, "A lover is he who is chill in hellfire, a knower is he who is dry in the sea." And I feel like they're kind of relevant to some of the difficulties we've been going through today collectively, but they've always brought a lot of fortitude and joy in my heart, and I hope they can do the same for you. Amante es aquel que fresco vive en el fuego del infierno, el fuego del infierno. Amante es aquel que fresco vive en el fuego del infierno, el fuego del infierno. Y sabio es que entre las aguas seco permanece, seco permanece. Y sabio es que entre las aguas seco permanece, seco permanece. Amante es aquel que fresco vive en el fuego del infierno, el fuego del infierno. Amante es aquel que fresco vive en el fuego del infierno, el fuego del infierno. Y sabio es aquel que entre las aguas seco permanece, seco permanece. Y sabio es aquel que entre las aguas seco permanece, seco permanece. Once again, happy Ridván. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you all next time.
Welcome back. This is step 9. We are going to do what's called trimming the barrel. So we're going to put this blank. It's got our brass tube glued inside. We're going to stick it in the chuck here. Tighten it up, much like we did when we were drilling it out. Normally I would do this process on a drill press, typically have a lot more control, but the blank is too big, so we're going to do it on the chuck. I'm trying to find the flattest, most secure way to lock it in there. I don't want this wobbling all over the place. Now this tool that I'm inserting into the hole there is called a barrel trimmer. So what this does is that bar that went inside clears out any glue that may have gotten inside the brass tube, but there's a round edge that you can kind of see here that as we push it into the wood, cuts away the wood in a round circular area that I'm trying to get down to where the wood I'm clearing away is flush with the brass tube inside. And you'll see what I mean later on in this clip. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't have really good vision at this point, so I can't see clearly how deep I'm going in, and I don't want to go too deep because the tube of the brass tube is set to a specific length to match the twist mechanism or click mechanism of the pen. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping that length very, very specific. So I'm just going a little bit at a time, checking it, pulling it out, trimming out a bit more of the wood, putting it back in out, kind of just double checking it, being very, very careful at this point. And here I'm making sure I'm not pushing the brass tube through. I've had situations in the past where the super glue or the bonding agent inside breaks and the tube that I'm trying to trim to is actually just getting pushed out the bottom of the blank. So I wanted to be careful I wasn't doing that. So now, we're back to trimming it up, moving the light to where I have a much better view after my workbench of many useless things gets out of my way. So now I can see a little bit easier because I'm looking for that reflection of the brass tube inside to make sure that it's I'm not going too deep, but I'm also not. I can't leave it too long, otherwise the mechanism won't fit right when I put it together. So really got to be. This is a very tedious but very specific part of the process. So we're just checking it a little bit more. I think at this point we're almost there. No, not quite. I'm going to put it back inside. And this, this bogwood chips away really, really quickly. So I was really going very slow to make sure that I didn't accidentally just screwing it in and just go too far. So here I'm making sure that I can see. You can even see a little bit of the brass tube if you look closely there in the center of the blank. That's kind of what we're looking for, is that shiny piece right there. So now we'll flip it over, do the other side. Trying to find out where the grooves were earlier, because that's where I had already found a way to mount it pretty flush. each time you mount it, there's the danger of it being off center again. So I want to try and make sure I'm mounting it as close to the same way every time. And this side goes pretty quick too, because I kind of figured out exactly how far in I needed to go. Although it did jam a little bit trying to get it even inside before anything turned on. And one of the things you have to be careful of is that bar inside does have a blade on it and can cut your tube. So you got to be careful not to just jam it in there too hard, and to kind of manage it and be careful with all these different things going on at once. So again, it's the same process as the other side, and I'll show you in a second. I think when it's done, you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about with it, with the tube and the wood being flush here. It's because, you know, we are going to take this piece of square-ish piece of wood and make it into a round object. So these holes here that I'm drilling in a little bit will make more sense in the next process. So there you can see the brass tube all the way through and how it's flush right up with the wood. We've cut the wood right there. So stay tuned to tomorrow.